A 9-year-old boy in South Africa married a 62-year-old woman because it's part of their culture. Apparently, the 62-year-old woman claimed that her ancestors indicated that she needed to marry this 9-year-old or else really, really bad things were to happen. Now, the 9-year-old is Saneie Masilela. I don't know if I said that right. I did my best. And Helen Shabangu was the one who got contacted by her ancestors. And we have a little snippet of the wedding for you guys, so let's take a quick look at that.
Now 9 years old, Saneie has walked down the aisle once more with his 62-year-old bride in nearby Mpumalanga. He wore the same tiny tuxedo and was even willing to pucker up for another kiss.
The best part about that video is her actual husband is standing there while she's kissing a 9-year-old on the lips. Now, I should be completely specific about this story. I did a little more research to see if they actually consummate the marriage, and they don't. So they did not have sex. This is more of a symbolic thing, and the 9-year-old says that hopefully in the future he will find a girl his own age to marry, but he's glad that he helped out so negative things don't happen to this woman and her family. She listened to her ancestors. He's happy about it. So I want to know what you guys think about this. I'm going to start off with you, Wendy. Make your point.
Yeah, you know, I thought it was really interesting because it's ceremonial, it's traditional, but she's in a white Western wedding gown, which is very confusing. But I think at the end of the day, if it's something that they're doing because it's something that the tribe is doing and it's for the ancestors and it wasn't consummated, then it's okay, I guess.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of people uncomfortable because he's so young, but if they're not having sex, I guess it's okay. Whitney, what do you think?
Well, that's the thing that kind of gets me here. I mean, essentially this was kind of like a gratuitous, distorted version of like playing house because it's not actually even a legal marriage is what they were saying here. So I'm confused. It just seems like, you know, when I was little, I would, you know, pretend marry a friend or something like that. Like I'm confused as to how it became like such a pertinent news story when it's not even really a legal thing and they didn't consummate it. It just seems like a, you know.
This is the perfect example of a sensationalized news story. Right. Something that makes Westerners feel really uncomfortable. Yes. So, you know, you'll have certain news publications write about it. But one thing that I did notice about this is, yes, it does make people really uncomfortable, but we do weird things in the Western world as well. So, you know, circumcision would be one example of that. People think that it's unnecessary, it's brutal. People do it when the kids are as old as 8 years old in some cases. So, I mean, in this case, as long as there's no sex involved and as long as it's more of a symbolic thing, I guess it's okay. I don't really believe in ancestors communicating with you from the dead. Yeah. But it is what it is.
Well, and also in the article, they actually say that the dead ancestors gave their blessing. So I'm like, wait, was it their idea or did they give the blessing? Was it her idea? And she's like, don't worry, because I got permission from Aunt, you know, Marietta from the dead. I don't really understand that aspect of things. But also on a more serious level, you know, men are marrying women or young girls right. this age and consummating this. And I think that that's a much more, you know, weighted issue than this kind of play situation. I don't know.
Child marriage is a really big problem in many countries throughout the world. So that was a great point. Well, we do have a less serious question to ask you guys about this story or related to this story. And it's whether or not you would be willing to marry someone 50 years older than you, and if you were, who would it be? Wendy.
Well, my ancestors have said that I should probably marry somebody like James Gardner. I think he's hot, and he just passed, unfortunately, but there's a photo circulating of him on the march in Washington from the 60s. It's just so hot. And he, if people don't know him, he's the guy that played the older Ryan Gosling in The Notebook.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know who it was. I was like, oh yeah, totally. That guy is real hot.
So hot. His name sounds sexy. We can talk civil rights all day, every day. You know?
I like that. Okay, great. Yeah. What about you, Whitney?
I have to say, if we're talking ideal world situation, because it's hard for me to decide between these two, I'm going to go with a sister wives situation of Betty White and Dolly Parton. What? Nice. That's like a power couple right there.
Betty White is one of my favorite people on the planet. I have a Betty White t-shirt that says "Stay Golden." It's just her face and it says "Stay Golden" on it. I'm probably gonna get in trouble for saying this, but that's what we do on this show. I have a crush on someone who's much older than me. He's not 50 years older than me, he's 28 years older than me, but it's Colonel Morris Davis. And he's like insanely intelligent. He was a US Air Force officer and a lawyer. He was a lawyer for Guantanamo Bay, and then he decided to resign because he objected to what was going on in Guantanamo Bay. And he's just a really intelligent, sexy, sexy man. So
you kind of cheated there though. Like we went like way older, and you only went like 28 years older.
You went like attainable. Like,
right, that is attainable.
I would like to think that mine are also attainable, and I've been working on it for years. But this guy
died. Okay?
Yeah,
not even attainable.
You're gonna have a hard time. Although you might have a chance in the afterlife. He could come back.
If you were single, would you really marry Betty White?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah?
Fuck yeah. I think being married, I think I would have permission to marry her from my wife.
Wow. Okay.
Just saying,
interesting.
Betty. Put it out there. Dolly too. Don't forget about Dolly.
Get
Come
it,
on.
girl. Get
Yeah.
it, girl. All right. So what do you guys think? If you had to marry someone 50 years older than you, who would it be? Obviously, if we have male viewers, you can pick a woman. And we want to hear from you. And also, do you have any commentary on this story? We want to hear your thoughts. We love sharing your opinions when we do a video at the end of the month, sharing our favorite comments. Comment in the section below. We'll see you guys soon.